Okay. Just wanted to make some videos here, I guess. See how this turns out. On my quote-unquote new table saw that I just bought just a couple nights ago now from a Craigslist seller. And it is a Homecraft, which is Delta, Rockwell, Milwaukee. I've seen all kinds of names kind of all over that Homecraft, which of course is the same brand as my drill press and also my bandsaw. But obviously didn't buy it from the same buyer. I got this, again, from a Craigslist seller. Lived out kind of up where Ed and Diane used to live off of Summit Station. So, yeah, anyway, I've had this one for a long time, and, it's okay. It really never has been good with the adjustments. They're kind of, hard to turn, and I've never really gone in and tried to resolve that, but it's really kind of a cheap table saw. It's got a cast aluminum, top on it. The one thing that I've really never liked about this, the big thing, is it's not very deep this way. I think I measured it, and it's like 16 inches. And you can see where the blade would start, and we have, just really 6 or 7 inches of runway, I'll call it. And that's really not much space to get your board straight. Now, it's not a big deal with with short boards if you're ripping. But if you got a longer board, it really doesn't give you much opportunity to get this going up against the fence and get it straightened out. So that's always kind of been an issue with this. I've made do with it, right? But I thought, I'm just going to keep an eye out for something else. And I was thinking about getting, like a new DeWalt. I probably should have. But, I thought, I'm just going to go ahead and look on Craigslist and see what comes up. And it just came up, and I thought, I really like my drill press and my bandsaw. They're well made. They're certainly older. And, it's just hard to find stuff that's solid anymore. It's all plastic and whatever. So this is obviously no plastic to be found on this anywhere. It's got a cast iron top, which I'm pretty excited about, right? That gives you a little bit more stability. Now this is on casters right now, which is why it's moving, but let me assure you this thing weighs a ton. Okay, so it's really not gonna move as much. And once I get this cleaned off, it'll be a nice surface. Now already, like a dumbass, I lost the throat plate on the way home. It's ultimately my fault, but the guy had the idea of tipping this thing up, rather than putting it on the trailer standing like it is. He thought we should lay it forward, and I said, yeah, that's a good idea. And it was for transporting it, but I did not think about the throat plate. Now, mine is screwed in, okay, but still. This one just sits on top, but it's still stupid. So I lost that. I asked him to look on his street for it in case it fell off early in the trip, which he did, and it was not to be found. So anyway. But another thing I like about it is these rails come out here pretty far, and you can actually make a 24-inch wide cut on this. Now, I don't know how accurate that would be. I'm sure it's like not the best situation in the world, but you can definitely come out pretty far. And I don't really cut boards that wide too often, and being able to do that anyway is a good thing. Really can't, I can get reasonably far out with this one, but you lose a lot of accuracy. So I'm hoping this will be better for that. But the other thing, again, it's just got a longer runway. I've got it probably close to 15 inches here to get that board straightened out, right, before I start pushing it through, and that's a pretty big deal. Other little things, it's got a miter gauge, and unlike this one, which I don't even hardly ever use, it's not super duper sloppy side to side, right? Once you get it in there, you know, you can make pretty good crosscuts with it. Oh, it's heavier. The whole thing's just much heavier duty than the other thing. It does run. I made sure of that before I bought it. A little bit of a vibration. That can be the belt. It can be a pulley alignment. I mean, it could be a variety of things. Again, I haven't gotten in here to clean any of the mechanism off or taking the trunnion out and lubed it. So this is really just, you know, in its raw state. But it does run, and it's pretty quiet. So I think it's a good machine. What's neat about it is, one of the things that's neat about it is it's actually a dual shaft motor. It's a long shaft, I guess. And you can put a pulley over here, and then you can attach other things like a planer on this side if you wanted, instead of this extension. I don't have that, but if I did, then I could take this cover off and put a pulley on there and then run that. And then you lift up on the motor, and you take this belt off and you put that one on, and then you run your planer. So, you know, these were made to be kind of you know, they're definitely for homeowners, but they're sort of like shopsmithy in that, you know, they're supposed to be kind of small and portable and just decent tools for your average Joe homeowner. So, yeah. So I want to get it running. I want to get it lubed up. I definitely want to clean the top. I don't remember if I talked about it in the last video, but I want to get the top clean. It looks nice, and then also obviously the wood slides across and it doesn't stain the wood with the rust. A lot of videos that I've seen on YouTube about doing that, 9 times out of 10, they start out trying not to harm the surface, and they're using steel wool, and it's like, okay, it's looking a little better, but you know, sooner or later they're whipping out the palm sander with, you know, 80 grit, and that's really the only thing that, you know, gets this embedded rust and cleans it up nice. So, you know, you just got to be careful, right? You don't want to sit there and hold your palm sander in one spot because you want this to be as flat as possible. Ideally, you know, you would take and have this remilled, and if you had an expensive saw, that might be worth it. This is not worth it. So, yeah, I'll just be palm sanding this and cleaning it up and getting it operational. If it happens to look nice at the same time, so be it. Put a little paste wax on it and call it good. Again, it's really just more about function. I probably will, you know, I might paint it up here and there. I'll probably end up painting the fence once I get it cleaned and installing, you know, the boards on either side of it like you see. I think it just makes it a little bit more usable. That'll throw off this guy a little bit, though. I hadn't thought of that. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not a huge fan of the fence. I will say that. I kind of prefer this sort of a locking cam. This here, you actually turn this knob to pull it really tight, but then you also have to come back here and loosen and tighten this up. You kind of have to be able to move it, and then you get it where you want it, and then you tighten this, and then you got to come back and tighten this end. I mean, whatever. Not a production shop. It's pretty solid though, you know. Like this one, you can move back and forth even when it's tight. You got to be really careful. This guy's, that's clamped on there good. It's not going to move. So that's good. It's just not fast and it's not fancy. Now it also has, I won't do it, but it's also got this little guy here, which is like they call a micro adjuster. And basically you loosen this up some, and then you can make sure this is pushed in and it engages with these teeth. Really can't see them. There's teeth on the underneath side of this rail in here that engage with a little gear and basically allow you to turn this and move this back and forth, you know, real small increments. I don't know if I'll ever really use that. I really don't. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'd like to paint it all up and make it look pretty, but at the same time, I never really did that to those. And, you know, I might paint the stand and get rid of some of the rust. I'll clean the top up, and I might paint, you know, the sides and the underneath just to keep the rust at bay under there. But I don't know, you know, I don't really see a heck of a lot of point into beautifying it. And as far as where I'm going to keep this thing, what I think I want to do is move that toolbox to where that saw is. And then I'll have to find a new home for the circular saw, but that should go. I'll find a place for that. It's not a big deal. And then I'm going to take those and put them over here. And then I'll have to rerun the electrical. I already got it over there. I'll probably just do a drop down here. And then those will be there, and I can reach around them to get that stuff behind it. And then I'm going to put the table saw over here because, you know, it is kind of wide. I might be able to leave the grinder where it is and just move those. That might be good because I'll be pulling that table saw out, and you know, like I do in work here in the middle of the room. So, yeah. Anyway, that's the plan. You know, I might probably make some more videos here as I progress, but not a lot. So, all right, chat with you later. Okay. I worked on the fence a little bit last night, and I think I got it working a lot better. One big problem was, I'm not going to take it off the show, but this part here, there's an inner part that slides up into this, and it was hanging down here on this end, and I think that was just scraping along the fence, or I'm sorry, along the table. And then there were some issues with this clamping situation down here. So I kind of worked on that a little bit, and I got it to where, I mean, you still have to do both things, and it's just the way it's designed. But I got it to where it moves a lot easier. It's not moving. It really takes 2 hands to do it, but it slides a lot easier. Much easier. And when you push this in, you can actually, you know, turn it and actually micro adjust it if you wanted to. Yeah, I'm sure I'll get better with this too. I think this might need to be screwed in a little bit before you do that. Again, I'm not sure how much I'll use this knob, but anyway, so yeah, I got that to where I can tighten that down and then cinch this down, and it actually clamps really good, and it's tight and it moves when I want to adjust it. So I think we're good with that. I'll still paint it up, but and then I took the motor off. That was pretty easy. There's just 2 set screws here on top, and then they come down on the shaft. These 2 shafts go into those 2 holes. Whoops. Those 2 holes there, and then you tighten those set screws down, and that holds it on. So that comes off real easy. So we can get that taken care of someday. And I guess, you know, really the next thing is I'll just be sort of, you know, unscrewing the top here. I'll probably take the rails off in the meantime. Unscrewing the top, and then that should just kind of, I'll pull everything out of here. I might take the extensions off first, possibly. That might be the thing to do, and then the whole thing will be lighter. That should all just lift off of the cabinet then, I think, and then I can flip it over and take the whole trunnion and arbor off, get this cleaned up. There is a little rust on this, but it's not really too bad. Okay. All right, well, I'm working on this a little bit more. I noticed something problematic. This arbor bearing. You probably can't hear it so much, but this bearing shot. I'm surprised it even turned. That man tested it. Yeah, that bearing, I don't know which one. I think there's 2 of them in here. But I looked real quick online, it looked like Amazon sold them, so maybe it shouldn't be too hard to find. It's good that it's a Delta, you know, in the day. I hope it will be attainable, not made out of titanium, as they say. Oh, all right, so down here, my goal is really just to try to get this whole thing out of here. And it is screwed up into the underside of the table, bolted. I think there's just 4 bolts that hold it. But what I would like to do, and there were 4 bolts holding the table to the cabinet. I took those out. What I want to do is just lift the table and everything off. And then once I have the table out, then I can take this off of the table. But anyway, in order to do that, I need to get this shaft out of here. This is the tilt mechanism shaft. Comes out the side. And I got this all loosened up, everything. But the problem is, not the problem, it just took me a little while to figure this out. I need to, drop my phone. I need to get this gear, this worm gear off that I'm pointing at the end of the shaft, because it won't pull back. You know, this shaft goes all the way through it into that. And I was looking at the manual, and I think there's a, kind of see that white speck in the middle at the end of it, right there. I think that is a little retaining pin, according to the drawing. And I don't have a drift really to punch that out. And I don't think my nail set would get it. It's too little, I think. The pin is. There's one in here, and then there's one on the lift. You can really can't see it. Oh, this guy here, in the end of it. So it runs this way. No, it runs that way. Anyway, I have to get this guy, the shaft out. And then I should be able to take this, just the front part here. I think I can take this off, and this guy, put this thing here on, and then I should be able to just push the whole thing back that way and lift it out. So anyway, not the easiest thing to get to. So, okay, well, I'm starting to get that pin out. Pounded it out from the other side. You can't really see here, but I'm gonna try to get a hold of it from this side with some pliers. Twist it out gently. But I wanted to kind of document how this goes together. So there's I'm hoping anyway that this shaft just pulls out of that worm gear. But then it goes through this thing here, whatever you call that. And then there's a little washer, a light colored thing. And then this collar, which is held in place by a set screw, which is on the other side. And then this thing here, which I don't really know what this is, really, but it does have a set screw or an Allen head. And it was up against the cabinet. I don't really know. I guess maybe it keeps the shaft from moving in and out, I guess. I don't know. I would think it would rub up against the cabinet, but anyway, out here then, this is simple enough, but there's this cover thing, and then a little washer. Oops, a little washer, and then this pin, which I haven't tried to pull out. I don't think I need to, but it engages with the T-shape in this. And then these screws, there's another one somewhere. These bolts go through that cover. And then that washer and the other, I think, is on the inside and the nut. And then this guy, of course, threads onto the end. That's the locking thing. But yeah, that's how it goes together. I just wanted to document that real quick. Not too complicated, but all right, I'll cut it out. out. Wasn't too bad. I had to end up grinding off a nail head. Impromptu drift. But yeah, I got it out, and here's that pin. That little pin. Don't want to lose that, although I'm sure I could get another one, but pain in the ass. So anyways, just kind of go over the layout here. This is on the end, and I'll obviously need to line up that hole again. And then this washer I've got on the inside of this, but it really goes on this side of it. I just don't want to lose it. And then this comes in the inside of the cabinet wall, trim piece, so on. So I stick that pin back in there. Yeah. All right, so that's off. And that should now, once I take this off, I should be able to end this. I should be able to pull it out that way, hopefully. We'll see though. All right, got it out. Ended up not really, well, I mean, I could have kept working at it. Couldn't really get this pin out. I didn't want to mushroom it on the end, you know. It's really pretty tight. So I just loosened this arm. Touch this so that it just kind of could fit up in there. So that worked. Just pulled it out. And then I got some gloves between the top and the cabinet here. I don't want to scratch the gouge really on the top if I can avoid it. This will be easier to assess and kind of work on. Really not a heck of a lot to it, honestly. You know, just a couple of pins. I mean, I'm sure there's little parts hidden right on here that I don't know about. Little keeper pins and whatnot. I'll have to be careful. But I'll just kind of look at the parts blow up on the manual. Little things like this, just kind of oddly placed little, you know, bolts, screws and nuts that I don't know what purpose they serve. They don't really seem to be holding anything. It's like a stop, you know, maybe that's what it is that you can adjust so that it doesn't, you know, travel too far. I'm probably not going to mess with those. All right, so what am I going to do with this thing? Well, I know I have to replace those bearings. But other than that, I'd almost prefer not to even take it apart if I can avoid it. But it is a little rusty, and not bad. It's really just that spot for whatever reason. And up in here some. This side's not bad. It's not terrible. I mean, these are rusted, but again, it's surface rust. It isn't terrible. It isn't really, I don't think, affecting anything. I mean, I could clean these teeth out and stuff. I don't know. I don't know how far apart, how much I want to take this thing apart, you know, for fear that I wouldn't put it back together quite right. And then it wouldn't, you know, be able to be aligned or something, you know. Right now, it's just as it should be, I'm assuming. And, you know, I'm wondering if I could just get by with some rust converter on that, or wire brushing it, or sanding it. I mean, if I took it apart, I could go and get some rusty evapor-rust. And basically get everything pristine and repaint it. You know? I mean, I guess that would be the thing to do. I just don't know if I want to take it apart. Maybe I'll look at the drawings and see what I think. If it doesn't look horrible, then it might be worth it just to take it apart. you know, like this deal. You know, there's threads here, and then there's a nut on the other side. But this is shouldered, so I guess really it would just be a matter of tightening it. And just remembering that, you know, there's kind of little washers in here. These really aren't operating parts. Oh, I think this, okay, I get it. This is meant to connect these two pieces. This is the tilt can. So this connects to here, which is the motor mount. So that keeps those together. Those probably just bolted together. I don't know. Maybe I'll look at a drawing, see what I think. I mean, I could easily, there's not a lot to it. Take it apart and then get some Evaporust and then paint the major parts, get the bearing out, replace the bearing, and see what that gets me. All right, anyway. All right, I got this over on the workbench, and I just wanted to document a few things already because it was pieces were kind of falling off of it because they're not really attached. This mounted to the top of the, or I'm sorry, the bottom of the cast top, and so did this here and here, and these both come off. These, I believe, are really the trunnion pieces, maybe. I don't know. So that came off like that. You can see this groove in here. Using this. Go on like that. Pretty straightforward. And then the front piece. And this actually flipped over, so this is the bottom of the saw, but anyway, this is what this kind of sits in. This is what that slant shaft goes through. Anyway, this sort of falls off too. And there's the thing for it and the groove on this side. That goes on the front, and this goes on the back. Okay. I have it turned like that. I'm an idiot, that's why. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. I may pop this off. I kind of got it up here just to sort of look at it against the drawing. Pull it up on the computer. Anyway, I just wanted to document those two pieces. Oh, I'm also putting some parts in bags. Okay. I'm taking this orb gear off of the lifting mechanism here. Just want to note the parts, gear, and then there's a little washer between the gear and this bushing. I'm assuming it's brass. I think that bushing comes all the way out here, and then we got a bolt, a nut on that side, which I'm sure just holds the bushing in place, and then all of this. But I don't think I'm going to need to take much of this off. I may eventually have to take that pin out, but I'm not sure. Anyways, there you go. All right, so I was talking about this little random screw and bolt here earlier. And it really just threads through this ear. And it appears that what it does is a stop for the lift mechanism. Oops. It just hits that pin sticking out or whatever that is. That's it. It's kind of crude, but that's all I see that doing. Now, I might have to take that out to remove this arbor assembly. But that looks pretty simple. Ugh, I hope, because there's just a set screw here on the top, and then this pin here, rather large pin, but a pin nonetheless in the middle, and then one washer on this side of it. Look at it. This is the pulley side, on the pulley side of this. So, saw an ad on MeTV the other night that they have Saturday morning cartoons, so I recorded all of them. We got Popeye, and then we have Tom and Jerry, and then Bugs Bunny. So, all right. Anyway, this is I got the arbor off, and I guess it kind of goes without saying that this is the top. Well, I don't know if it's the top or the bottom at this point. I think it's the top. Yeah, it is. Top of the saw. This goes on there, and then between this left side, the pulley siding and the thingy, there was actually 2 washers in there. These are spring washers. So I don't know why spring washers are necessary. I don't know if these have to go in a certain way either. It probably just keeps it pushed out a little bit. Anyway, and that was held in with this pin, which seems to be universal. Turn it how it goes in. So, and there's brass bushings in there, which are pressed in. I'll have to look up evaporust and see if that harms brass. I would not want to mess those up. Anyway, all right, moving on. Oh, and then on this little ear here, again, this is the top of the saw, I believe. The slotted side is here, and there's no washer on that side, but there's a washer on this side, and then the nut. Because I'm sure this has to, well, actually this has to hit that pin. Okay, turn the light on here. I just wanted to give the lay of the land on this thing before I take these tie bars off. This is the motor mount side. So they obviously go through there, not through here. This is the front of the unit, and they go through here. And then this guy I'll take out separately. I think I will take this out. Damn near all there is to it. I got these guys here, which I don't know what they do. Oh, I think they were a stop for the tilting mechanism. So I might just take this nut off. I might leave that in there because I don't really know how far it was in there. I mean, I can kind of video it here and say that there's basically 4 threads. I'm sure it doesn't matter that much. And then this, I don't really know what this guy does. It doesn't seem to hold on to anything. This is all part of the casting, I guess. I don't know if this, I guess this thing would come off. It almost seems like it should be straight on there. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know why these have little holes in the end, but I can't imagine anything more than just solid bar stuff. Anyway, I'll document if there's any washers. That's really just about it, to be honest, though. Not much else to it. These are shouldered, like I said. I think I will get some evaporust. All these parts can soak in there. The only thing I want to look up is that brass. Make sure the bushings don't get ruined. I could probably force them out, but they're probably kind of hard to get out. Anyway, we'll look that up. We'll Google that. Alrighty, got it all apart. It wasn't bad at all. There's a couple of little fiber washers that I don't know what they'll be critical or not, but they're kind of disintegrated, but I think it'll be okay generally. So these are the time things. These are honestly probably the rustiest, and it's really not bad. I thought these were rusty, and they might still be, but honestly, I think this is just
I'm not entirely sure that it's rust. I mean, it could be. It looks the color of rust, but it kind of scraped off a little bit. It might just be like pitch and oil. But I think what I'm gonna do is well, first of all, I'll Google, find out about these bushings and evapor-rust. I don't think it'll hurt them, but I'll look anyway and make sure that that's compatible. And I'm just gonna get the evapor-rust and I'm gonna soak all these parts. And I'll probably, honestly, just throw them in there. It's not gonna hurt them. And then paint this something. The paint's not in bad shape, but I'll paint it and put it back together, and I think we're gonna be good. And then this is really just, the other thing. I gotta take care of the arbor. I haven't taken that apart yet. Need to do the exploded model of it and see how it's put together. Excuse me. Anyway, this isn't too bad, really. I think it's all good. Yeah, this is kind of rusty here. Oh, unless it's more the pitch. It sure looks like rust, but I'm not 100% sure it is. Anyway, we shall see what happens. I don't know. These are going to be ugly. They're pitted. There's some kind of chrome, but it's just like a cheap pot metal kind of a thing. I don't know. Maybe we'll throw those in the evapor-rust and see what happens. Maybe they'll clean up, or I don't know. If they end up not looking good, I'll probably just paint them. I just want more color. All right, that's good. I think I'm done. Okay. Well, the next challenge here is to remove the arbor bearings, and it's going to be kind of tough. They definitely need replaced. So I was looking at a diagram and also read a post, and really it's two things kind of holding it all together other than friction fit and dried grease, and that's this probably 7/8 inch nut here, and then this thing that just looks like a ring here, which I guess that's what it is threaded on the outside, and so is the housing. And it's got like two slots in it, one here and then one on the other side. So I need some kind of a spanner wrench, which, you can't just get those anywhere really. So I don't know. It seemed like I had a similar kind of a thing on the drill press and kind of held that bearing in. I don't really remember what I used to get it out, but I did manage, if I'm remembering right. Anyways, I don't even have a long enough socket. I wish I could keep this damn thing in. A long enough socket to fit over this shaft. So I'll need to get that, and then I don't know, maybe I can take this all up to the auto parts store and see if they have anything that might work for this thing here. Because again, I don't know that a screwdriver beaten on it is going to really work well. So, and then once you get those two out, I think it's just a matter of probably pounding it out this way, and probably, I don't know if this thing here threads on it. Kind of looks like it has threads on it. Come on, point it at the thing. This thing here kind of looks like it has threads on it, but I don't know for sure. Or if it just slips off. I think it's threaded.
So I don't know, we'll just have to, I think, round it out this way. This actually might not even need to be removed, because I think everything's gonna probably come out this way, I guess. So we'll see. All right, this ought to be good fun. Okay, hey, I got it apart. So, not too tough, really. This is that retainer ring. Well, first of all, I had to go up and get a long deep well socket. Got that. And then getting this guy out. You should go get a spanner, but I just used a nail set and just kind of carefully, kind of spun it out. So, not the best way, but it worked. It wasn't really that tight, so no need to spend money on a tool. And then just drove this out. That leaves this guy in here, which I can drive out from this side with something. And then I will need to figure out how to get this off of here. And then these guys, this all goes in here. And then there's this spacer thing too. So it goes this bearing on this way. And these spring washers. And you can't forget the spacer. And that goes in here. And then this side, that goes back in for the shaft. And then this, and then the 7/8 inch nut, which is in the bag. So yeah, not too bad. I just need to order the bearings then and figure out how I'm going to get this off of here. I don't think I could have used that same polar. I don't know, I'll figure out something. Just one more quick note on this. I got the other bearing out. The bearings go in this orientation. You can see how it's raised on the one side. That goes out on the pulley side, and it also goes out on the blade side.